There are certain names in gaming that don't just represent the franchise. They sort of represent an era. Right off the bat, Uncharted is one of them, simple as it can be. And it's been many years, it feels like the book had actually closed, as if Nathan Drake walked away. The treasure hunt's all gone. When Uncharted 4: A Thief's End released, it wasn't just another sequel, you see, it was positioned as a goodbye. A carefully crafted farewell to one of the PlayStation's most iconic heroes, of course. And yet, ever since that game, rumors don't seem to find the way out. If anything, they're actually getting stronger. Whispers of Uncharted 5 being in development, reports of a new creative team, hiring listings hinting at cinematic third-person action. Insiders actually suggesting Sony isn't ready to let one of its most valuable adventure franchises just simply fade into history. And here's the thing, it makes sense. Because Uncharted is not just a game series, it is a blueprint. It defines storytelling in modern action games. It influenced camera design, set-piece pacing, character banter, and the blockbuster spectacle in ways that reshaped the industry. When the original Uncharted Drake's Fortune launched on PlayStation 3, it introduced something rare. A playable action movie that didn't feel stiff or artificial by any means. By the time Uncharted 2 Among Thieves arrived, the franchise had become the gold standard for cinematic pacing. Trains dangling over cliffs, collapsing cities, snow-covered temples, it wasn't just spectacle, it was momentum. Then came Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, pushing scale even further, and finally, Uncharted 4, the emotional conclusion that matured the formula without losing its thrill. So why reopen it? Because PlayStation in 2026 looks different than PlayStation in 2016. The cinematic action-adventure space is more competitive, expectations are higher, technologies evolve a lot, and Sony's first-party strategy shifted towards maintaining strong, recognizable pillars. Uncharted is one of those pillars. The key question is not whether Uncharted 5 is happening, it's who it's about. Because bringing Nathan back risks undoing one of the cleanest character send-offs in gaming history. His arc felt complete, his journey from reckless fortune hunter to grounded family man resonated, precisely because it ended. Which is why most credible rumors lately suggest something smarter, a new protagonist maybe. If you played Uncharted 4's epilogue, you already know the most obvious candidate. Not sure if it's a good idea, but Cassie Drake. In fact, the final playable moment in the game was not random, it was deliberate. It introduced a new generation and stepped into the myth of Drake. Not necessarily to repeat it, but to reinterpret it. Imagine Uncharted 5 not as a sequel about Nathan, but as a legacy story. Cassie discovering her parents' past adventures, uncovering secrets Nathan never told, maybe even correcting mistakes left unresolved. That angle preserves the original ending while expanding the universe. But Sony could also pivot, a little different. Another very strong rumor suggests that development may be happening outside of Naughty Dog, the studio that built the franchise. Naughty Dog has been deeply involved in new projects and evolving its internal direction. If Uncharted 5 exists, it may be led by a different first-party team under Sony's umbrella, potentially one with experience in cinematic action and large-scale environments, of course. That's risky, but it's also quite exciting. Because sometimes a new creative lens is exactly what a long-running franchise needs. Let's talk about what Uncharted 5 would need to feel relevant in 2026 and beyond, per se. First, scale is no longer enough. When Uncharted 2 had you climbing a derailed train hanging off a Himalayan cliff, it was mind-blowing. Today, players expect technical brilliance as a baseline. So Uncharted 5 would need to innovate beyond scripted spectacle. Imagine larger, semi-open environments, not full open world, that's not Uncharted's identity, but expansive regions with multiple infiltration paths, optional discoveries, and dynamic encounters. Modern hardware allows for environmental storytelling. Picture dense South American jungles reacting to weather systems, ancient ruins partially submerged in shifting tides. desert sandstorms that alter traversal routes in real time. In fact, modern hardware allows for environmental storytelling at a level that PlayStation 3 and even PlayStation 4 couldn't fully realize. Number 2. Character depth. Uncharted had always thrived on chemistry. Nathan and Sully, Nathan and Elena. The banter wasn't filler, it was the heart of the series. If Cassie Drake, based on that, leads the next chapter, her dynamic with older Nathan could create something very unique, a reversal of roles, the once reckless adventurer now playing the cautious voice of reason. The daughter then pushing boundaries the father once did. That generational tension alone could carry emotional weight insanely. But Sony might go even bolder. What if Uncharted 5 introduces an entirely new cast in a different part of the world? A treasure hunter inspired by Drake's legends. A rival archaeologist, uncovering something tied to events of the past. Or even a morally gray protagonist, someone less charming, more ruthless, shifting the tone slightly darker. Because here's the reality. The adventure genre has matured. Modern players expect complex. Folks expect characters to grapple with consequences, and Uncharted 5 can't just replicate witty banter and collapsing buildings, it has to feel purposeful. Then on the other hand, we've got the gameplay evolution. Climate mechanics that once felt revolutionary now need refinement. Combat that leaned on cover shooting must adapt to more fluid, systemic AI. Enemies need to react intelligently, stealth must feel organic rather than optional now. Imagine AI companions who aren't invincible ghosts, but active participants. Imagine enemy factions competing against each other in real time. And visually also. Uncharted has always been a graphical showcase. A PlayStation 5 era Uncharted 5 would need to push lighting, animation, facial performance to something film-level fidelity. Sony does not make Uncharted games quietly. They make them as statements. There's also the broader business angle. PlayStation's leaned heavily on established IPs to anchor each console generation. God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon, The Last of Us. Uncharted is conspicuously absent from the PlayStation 5 era. That absence feels temporary, especially as the Uncharted film introduced the franchise to a broader audience. Cross-media synergy matters. If Sony wants to maximize brand recognition across gaming and film, reviving Uncharted makes strategic sense. But here's also where things get delicate. Uncharted 5 must avoid feeling like a corporate decision. It has to feel inspired, because the reason Uncharted 4 resonated wasn't just spectacle, it was sincerity. It respected its characters, it gave them closure. If Uncharted 5 reopens the book, it needs to do with intention. A new mystery worthy of the name. Not just treasure, legacy. Not just action, evolution. Because Uncharted is not just about climbing walls and dodging bullets, it's about adventure. And adventure never really dies. If the rumors are true and the smoke around this one is persistent, then Sony has not resurrected Uncharted out of desperation. They're preparing to redefine it for a new era, a new generation stepping into the boots once worn by Nathan Drake. And if they get it right, Uncharted 5 is not gonna feel like a sequel. It'll feel like the next great expedition. And somewhere deep in the Forgotten Realm, the adventure will slowly but surely echo again.